What's up, guys? I'm here with my boy Kael Dimitrov, current football player for Ludgorets Razgrad. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's in
Yeah.
Bulgaria. He's a professional football player. He's been playing abroad for about 2 years now. Great friend of mine as well. And today we're gonna be talking about what's it like to be a professional football player, how how you manage it, what struggles there are, about yourself and everything. So Kyle, introduce yourself, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Thanks for having me. I'm
Yeah, of
Kyle.
course.
I've been playing abroad for about 3 years now. I started my journey with Levski Sofia, which is a first division team in Bulgaria. I played there for a year, kind of didn't really mix well with the players. So I got signed to a new team. I got scouted, and yeah, everything's been great. Our team is currently 10-time champion in Bulgaria in a row, and we're currently competing in Europa League as well. So yeah, it's a pretty big team, great staff, great facilities. Everything is a dream come true, you could say.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
still a long way to go. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, yeah. So tell me about yourself and like where you grew up.
I grew up in Toronto, Ontario, with my mom and my dad. Uh, my dad was usually always abroad, and it was always just like kind of me growing up myself because my mom would always be at work. And like with football, it was always like a therapy to me. You know what I mean? Like I never felt
Yeah,
alone with it. I always felt like the ball was my friend, you could say. And I'd always go out to the field. I'd always just do that instead of doing anything. Honestly, like maybe I should have studied more, but I guess football kind of like got to me more. You know what I mean? Like it just pulled me over to that. And yeah, like my parents are very hardworking. I come from a very athletic background. My dad was a world champion in karate, and my mom was a European gymnastics champion. And yeah, it's always been just me grinding out for what I want in life, which is football. And slowly it's starting to happen. I had I had trials for Manchester United about 4 years ago, and Wigan Athletic, which are pretty big teams. Sadly, I got turned down, but obviously that didn't stop me from pursuing what I want
yeah,
to do.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
Okay, that's cool. That's really cool, man. So when did you realize you're like good enough to go pro?
honestly, it's kind of like the mentality I had since I was a kid. My parents would always tell me like, "You're the best." You know what I mean? Like, I go out onto the field and they just tell me like, repeat to yourself that you're the best. And it kind of just came naturally since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like it's just me all the time putting that into my head and kind of like manifesting it into reality. So it's always just been in my blood. You know what I mean? And I've always known that I put more work into my teammates. And obviously, there's all people that are going to work harder than you. And I'm trying to reach that level. You know what I mean? To
Right.
work harder than anyone.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's all about the work ethic.
Yeah.
But so you moved from Toronto to Bulgaria in 2019, right?
Yeah, I think so.
2019. So like what were like some struggles you had to face when you first started out in Bulgaria? Because it's not an easy change for a teenager at age of like what 16 to move away from all his friends, his comfort zone, and go into like a completely new environment where you're chasing your dream, but I'm sure there was struggles during the way. And if you want to talk about that, you can.
Yeah. When I moved to Levski Sofia, uh, a lot of struggles. Like I said, that's why I kind of moved away from that team because I didn't mix well with the players. Um, I sacrificed my whole life, my family, everything to move to Bulgaria. Like my mom, my dad, like I lived alone, or I've been living alone for the last 3 years now. And as a 16-year-old at the time, it was really difficult to like adapt, fit in, because I've never been away from my parents, like truly been away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I left my friends and everything. I didn't have any friends for like a year. Uh, in Levski Sofia, when I would like joined, the players weren't they were like really, how do you say? They were really like, they like shut me out. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
like they see a new kid from another country, like Bulgaria is not a wealthy country at all.
right,
Like,
right.
and
They
like when they
start
see you
they
come
start
from,
so
pardon?
since like you were from Canada, they start picking on you and stuff, I'm guessing, right? Because you're like the new kid on the block and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you come from a wealthy country, for example, like you have more opportunities, if you want to say it like that. And it's just like people get really jealous, you know what I mean? And they just shut you out and treat you differently. And like it was really tough mixing in with them. And I didn't have any friends there. It was just constant like competition and fighting with them in practices and in everything. And yeah, that kind of pushed me back as well with my social life, because it was really hard for me to make friends at that time, because like I was kind of used to those like Bulgarian people treating me in that way. And I couldn't really put myself out there for anybody, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
so I kind of just shut myself out for a bit. I trained, I did what I could, and Ludgorets saw something in me. They took a shot. They took me over to their team, and yeah, now I'm more social. Like all those things kind of still stay with you. You know what I mean? Because it's kind
yeah,
of like a scar from the past. And yeah, that's it's kind of how it went down since I moved.
yeah. So so like let's say before a big game, right? Because you guys have how many games this season you would say?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to count. Sometimes we have like 2, 3 games a week.
Okay, 2, 3 games a week. Let's say you have a big game. How do you usually like spend your day and like prepare yourself before a game that like you're like looking forward to and you really want to win? It's a must win. How do you prepare yourself? Both mentally, both physically. Like, what do you eat? What are your how much sleep do you get? Stuff like that.
Honestly, it doesn't like, how do I explain this? All these things don't come from the day before or the day of. You need to have like a consistent like week. You know what I mean? You have to get good sleep. If you get like bad sleep for the whole week and you just sleep good the night before, you're still gonna play bad, because you're not your body's not used to it. And it just starts from the week, like from the Monday until the Friday, for example. You just got to be consistent with your sleep, with the way you eat. You have to eat healthy, no junk food and stuff like that. But I try to sleep around 9, 10 hours. It really depends on the person, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the person's needs and stuff. I have nothing to do except train, and pretty much that's it. That's all I'm focusing on right now. So in the morning, I eat eggs with bacon and like a bit of bread for what's it called, carbs, to get me like
energy.
some energy for the day.
Yeah.
Avocado on the side, maybe some tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
For lunch, I would we have this like restaurant where we eat, and they would make us spaghetti with cheese and a chicken steak with um potatoes on the side. So it's
Right.
pretty good. And for an after lunch snack, they give us 2 bananas and chocolate, which is pretty good before a game. Like if you eat a banana before a game, you're gonna get like a lot of energy along with the chocolate, because it also like boosts your it just boosts you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of the sugar and stuff. And I usually try to meditate before a game as well. as weird as it sounds, not a lot of people do it, but it really does
Meditating,
help.
meditating is important. People make fun of meditation, but
Yeah,
it
for
genuinely
real.
works. Like, it gets you in the present state of mind and you want to like, get going with everything, right?
Yeah, you like clearly your mind out of everything that's like not necessary.
Exactly.
uh you like, what I try to do at least is envision myself, scoring a goal, you know just playing good, you know what I mean,
Right.
like things I want to do in the game. I try to imagine myself while I'm meditating.
Hmm.
And then when it becomes like, the final hours before a game, like I just listen to music, I hype myself up, I have a few highlight videos, I watch them, because like when I watch myself, it's like I know I can make it. It
Yeah.
all like depends on me though. So yeah, that's usually what I do before a game.
Okay. So since you moved from Bulgaria, I mean from Toronto to Bulgaria, obviously you had to sacrifice a few things and like, leave some stuff behind, some activities, people, family. What would you say are some things you miss doing since you've become like a footballer?
Like, what do you mean things though? Because that can like mean a lot
Yeah,
of things.
okay. Like for example, what's something you were able to do before you moved to Bulgaria that now you can't anymore and you're like you miss it basically, you know?
Uh,
Like for
Coming home
example,
to my family, for example.
okay, yeah, that's a good one, right? Coming home to family.
Yeah, because me and my mom are really close. Also, my dad, when he was there, and when it was a hard day, like I would go to them, I'd talk about it, and they'd always help me out. Whereas now, like I'm just kind of do it yourself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
man up, that type of stuff. Yeah, I gotta
Mhm.
fix my problems myself because yeah. What else though? I miss seeing my friends
Right.
because I haven't seen you guys in how long? 3 years.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 years now.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And we were really close back then. We'd always hang out at school, at lunch, after school, sometimes as well.
Mhm.
The sleepovers at Ricardo.
Yeah, those were
Yeah,
good times. Yeah, those are
so
definitely good times.
good memories. Um, Other type of stuff. I don't know. Like I can kind of always do the same things, just like in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you were telling me how you miss a few things like friends, family, and would you say that's about it, or is there other things as well?
Um, Honestly, I'd say like I can still do the things I want to do. Like it's just I don't know. It's just different. Now
Right.
now that I'm not there, like I grew up there, 16 years I've lived there, and like everything's just different, and my whole life is different. But like I can kind of do the same things, just like it's just not the same though. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Hmm.
Without friends, without family, like that's honestly the biggest thing. Because sacrificing that is honestly not the easiest thing, and it's definitely not for everybody.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Okay. Um, so who would you say is like your idol on the pitch, you know? So who inspired you to really fall in love with the game and who's your idol on the football field?
I have two. It's either gonna be Ibrahimovic
Okay.
or Ronaldo. Ronaldo because he works incredibly hard.
Mm.
Along with Ibrahimovic, look at the guy. He's 40 years old and he's a machine still. He's better than most players right now.
Yeah.
Uh, Ibrahimovic because he had struggles as well when he was growing up. Not like with his teammates, with his social life, stuff like that. And it's that ambition he had to show them I will prove them wrong. And like that's kind of my role model. I'd say Ibrahimovic is more of my like role model or like inspiration to where I am today.
Also, his mentality is like it's like one of the best in the game, right? So that's one
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
I probably think you enjoy about him, right? His just the way he is, the confidence he has,
yeah, of course.
the
The
beast.
confidence he has, everything he has. I really try to, be like him in a way.
Right,
Obviously not one on one, but like, like the way he's not arrogant. I just see him as really confident because he knows what he can do
right.
and like that type of stuff.
Okay. So what are like some of the best perks of like what are some of the best perks that came alongside going pro? Like now we're talking about the good side of going pro. We talked about the struggles of what you had to face, and now I want to see like what are some good things that came alongside you moving to Bulgaria and fulfilling your dreams.
Uh Honestly, it starts with like being one step closer to your dream. Uh like the way we train the games and stuff, it's not, you can't compare it to North American football. It's just way more advanced. Is that the word?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
that works.
yeah, because bro, my
North
English is
American,
getting rusty.
no, it's all good. North American football is honestly it's like not the best in the world, and people know that because they made like their main sports are basketball, hockey, football, that type of stuff. But you're definitely in the right place for soccer, or football as you guys call it. But Europe is definitely one of the best places to be in for what you want to do, and you're in the right place, man. So what else would you say is some perks that come alongside being pro?
We get free food, for example. The traveling, everything is paid for. Vitamins, like all those types of things, protein, creatine, whatever you might take, all of that is free. They pay for your apartment. You basically live rent free, and
Right,
you really have no what's the what's the word? You really have like no, you don't have to pay for anything
right,
except for
okay.
like clothes, for example, or things you want to spend money on,
Uh-huh.
and that's pretty much it. Like,
So everything
there's
that's necessary is covered. Only stuff that you
pretty
would
much,
want
yeah,
to buy, like clothes, cars, different
yeah,
stuff like that. Okay.
yeah. We have doctors, everything. You don't have to worry about nothing, to be like, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. So, since a lot of people who are in North America or even around the world wanna, go professionally, wanna sacrifice their entire life to chase their dream like you did, what are some tips you'd give them?
Uh, Work hard, stay after practice. I know it's cheesy. I know a lot of people say it, but it really does go a long way, and it will eventually show because you always get more hours on the pitch, and eventually it'll start showing.
Yeah.
And no matter what anyone tells you, don't give up.
Uh-huh.
That's
Okay.
that's like a big thing, because there's going to be people who doubt you. There's going to be coaches who don't believe in you, but it's your job to prove them wrong, that you can show them like, yeah, I can. Who are you to tell me that I won't do what I want? You know what I mean? Like, I won't become a pro footballer. Like, who are you to tell me I don't have the qualities for that?
Yeah.
Obviously, like, listen to your coaches as well. Like, they will help, but if you're really like determined, then like don't take no for an answer, you know?
Mm. Okay, so I'm gonna top it off with like a last question. So what drives you to do what you want to do?
Uh, it's always been a dream of mine, since I was a kid. The way I started football actually was like my parents signed me up with this like when you're really young, like there's this little like program where you play like all these sports and stuff like that, like basketball, hula hooping, all that type of stuff, and football. And football was like, my thing. Like, you could tell without even like playing before. Like I was just kind of a natural at it. And ever since I started training and stuff, like it's always just been a dream of mine. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And my family also, like I really want to make them proud. My mom and my dad, you know, like family is like the biggest thing for me as well. Um, and it's pretty much it, just for my family, for my dreams, because a lot of people have dreams, but a lot of people don't do like things to
The
actually like
things,
fulfill them.
right?
And yeah, like I don't want to like one day be on my deathbed and say like I could have done this, I could have done that. You know, like I want to be there and say, you know, I did this, I conquered, I did what I could, and there's nothing more I could have done with my life. Something like that, for example.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good one, man. But anyway, this is the end of the podcast. It was really good having you on the podcast, man.
Thanks for having me.
If people are still listening, you could take tips. He knows what he's talking about. He's experienced what it's like to go abroad, sacrifice everything, to chase his dream. So if you enjoyed that, leave a thumbs up and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.